All right, there you
Being
go.
live streamed. Okay, great. Good evening, everyone, and I'd like to welcome you to a meeting of the Ulster County Capital Resource Corporation. I'd like to call the meeting to order and pledge of allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. The mission of the Ulster County Capital Resource Corp is to promote community and economic development in Ulster County in ways that complement the work of Ulster County, primarily through issuing and selling bonds for nonprofit institutions. I'd like you all to take a minute to take a look at the minutes from the October 20th, 2021 meeting. And after reviewing them, if so, then accept as presented. If not, any pertinent changes that need to be made.
Chair, we still need to do the roll call. Can I jump in? And do
Okay,
that?
roll call.
James Malcolm.
Yep.
Diane Einen.
Present.
Michael Ham.
Here.
Faye Storms.
Here.
Orlando Reese and Daniel Savona were both absent with notice, and Richard Jones.
But they're both reachable by phone. And when you to qualify, okay.
Yep, they are.
All right. I had started to talk about the minutes, so please review them. And when you feel necessary, make a motion to accept as presented or not. Hi, Rick. How are you? You're muted, but that's okay. We'll get you.
Chair, I motion to accept the minutes as they're
I have a motion to accept the minutes as presented. Do I have a second?
presented.
Did you say yes, Rick?
Second.
Okay, thank you. Anyone on the question? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Public comment, agenda items only. Is there anyone out there, Lucia, you want to say anything or no?
I feel like I probably said what I need to say a couple times, so you all probably
Less
know
is more,
exactly what to
Lucia.
say.
You got it.
I'll save us the time.
Okay. I'll tell you what, we are just to save Lucia a little bit of time. We're going to go to old business first. Then we're going to go, I'm going to deviate from the schedule. Then we're going to go into executive session. Okay. So Romeo Kia, council, CEO, what do we got?
I can start and then I will hand it over gladly to Joe. So we covered it at the public hearing, but just to make sure that it's clear, there were some project changes because of, I guess, Lucia, you could elaborate, I guess, but because of how long it's been and changes in the estimates from the contractor, the changes to the project would be that it's going to increase to approximately $7 million. And then as such, there would be a little bit of increase to the mortgage recording tax and the sales tax. And all of that was part of our public hearing. So I took the new figures from Lucia and then I did a new cost benefit analysis, which is on page 10 of the packet. Sorry. Originally, there was still a very good cost benefit ratio, benefit to cost ratio, but now with the changes in the incentives, it's much higher, obviously, because there's much less in incentives and there is a larger investment into the county. So for what we would be incentivizing for the project, which would be mortgage recording tax and the sales tax, it would be a benefit to cost ratio of 87-1. If they end up going through with the 485B through the town that has nothing to do with us, but it's still public incentive, then it would still be a benefit to cost ratio of 44-1. So all of that is outlined in the packet, and I show both analysis from Inform Analytics in here. On page 25, That's where we have any written comments that were submitted from the public hearing. We don't have the transcript back from the public hearing yet, but all of the board members have received the link to our video, and we're able to watch it there as opposed to having to read through the public transcript or through the public hearing transcript. And then on page 36.
Can you just, for my own edification, did you get any communications sent in outside of the meeting?
Yeah, so they're in here as well. There were 3 that were sent in prior to the meeting that were read out loud. at
Those
the
I don't
meeting.
care about. I'm talking about after the meeting.
And then there were some sent in after the meeting. Most of them were in favor of the project, and I think there might have been 1 or 2 that were not in favor of the project. At the public hearing, just as a side note for the board members here, the chair and Mike and Rick and Joe and I listened to some obvious misconceptions regards to the IDA and the CRC as far as what we do, how we do it. And we were able to kind of touch base with a few of the people that really didn't understand. For example, 2 people thought that we were physically buying the land and physically building this building for Romeo and then letting them lease it back from us, which is obviously not what's happening. Romeo is obviously paying for this project themselves. So after explaining that, it led to some further conversation, and one of the gentlemen and I have had some good conversations with some other misconceptions and things he didn't understand, which has led to him going out of his way to compile a list of things that he doesn't understand and feels that other people don't understand, because I know he reached out to some friends of his in the community and things that people may or may not have concerns with, and he sent it over to me so that we can start to help the public better understand what it is that we do.
Yeah, it just ties into the stuff that Faye and Diane and their crew are doing as far as marketing, and it's good. It's good stuff.
And then on page 36, I will turn it over to Joe because it's the resolutions here.
Okay.
Unless anybody has questions.
So basically, there was only 2 people who were really showed disapproval of it, correct?
In the written comment.
Yeah, in the written.
Yeah, it's probably about 2. When we were there at the public hearing, it was 3 or 4.
Right, yeah, it seemed like it was hard to hear in the public hearing. I couldn't hear half of what they were saying.
Yeah, I've heard
Well,
that.
to tell you the truth, Faye, I mean, there was 4 or 5 that had concerns and they were against it. And I think, I mean, I don't have a crystal ball, but I think after we took time after the meeting or outside to explain some things, they had a better understanding. I'm not sure if that changed their mind. Supervisor Quigley got up and he gave a quick overview and the economics of the situation as far as how it affected the town of Ulster. And I think that was a big help. So, you know, again, you know, I have to thank Lucia because I don't know if I'd have been as gracious if people basically telling me I was robbing them as she was. So, you know, good stuff there. So let's proceed, council.
Joe, I'm sorry, I'm just gonna real quick, the incentives that we're giving it's only a total of $352,000. Half of that basically is what's coming from the county. So it's not that much money, which was one of the things that Supervisor Quigley had touched on. It's, you know, half of 304 is actually Ulster County, and then 48,000 is Ulster County as well. So sorry, go ahead, Joe.
But the thing, what was good about Jim Quigley was he talked at a positive impact, dollars and cents wise, from the business back onto the town and the county, and that tends to get lost. Okay, Joe.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. So there's 2 action items for the CRC this evening. One is the seeker resolution. That's on page 36 of the PDF. And the second is the approving resolution, which is on page 40 of the PDF. I'll start with the seeker resolution. We need to consider that first in order to consider the approving resolution. The seeker resolution is very similar to what we considered as the IDA several months ago. What we're basically doing is confirming the action taken by the Town of Ulster Town Board with respect to a seeker clearance with respect to the matter. And with that, I'll open it up for any comments or questions.
Everything was resolved with the Eagles? Joe?
They're not there right now.
That's correct. That's my understanding. Everything was resolved and the construction, and that's frankly part of the reason we're having this special meeting, is that we're reacting to the construction restrictions on the site, which are impacted partly by the weather and partly by the Eagles.
Right. Okay.
I just, a quick question for Lucia. Do you have a contractor or record yet, a general contractor for the project?
Yes, Mike Schatzel.
Oh, from Kingston, okay.
Yeah, as much
you
local
and-
as we possibly can.
Well,
Yep.
It's good. It's an area guy.
Yep.
All right, we need a roll call on anything, or do you have to read it first?
No, all that needs to be done, Chair, is read the title of the resolution and ask for a motion in a second.
I'm not on the page. Let me get
Oh.
onto the.
Yep.
Ugh,
It's page 36.
I'm sorry. I
Okay.
apologize. It's pretty good. And I'm supposed to read the seeker?
It's a resolution. This is about 2/3 of the way down. Resolution accepting the determination by the Town of Ulster Town Board to
there.
act.
It's all in uppercase.
Oh, I'm sorry, I apologize. Okay, resolution accepting the determination by the Town of Ulster Town Board to act as lead agency for the environmental review of the Romeo Enterprises LLC project and acknowledgement receipt of the negative declaration issued with respect thereto.
I'll make a motion to
Go to
approve
roll
that.
call. I have a motion to go to a roll call vote from Faye Storms. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Rick Jones. Please proceed.
James Malcolm,
Yes.
Diane Einen,
Yes.
Faye Storms,
Yes,
sorry, Michael Ham,
Yes.
Orlando Reese and Daniel Savona were both absent with notice, and Richard Jones.
Yes.
Okay,
Well, you're not guilty of the first charge, Lucia. You're okay.
One down, one to go.
Where are we going now, council?
So Chair, on page 40 of the PDF,
Okay,
this is the resolution approving the entering into the documents by the CRC,
okay,
not the IDA, but the CRC. This resolution authorizes the entering into the lease, the various financing documents, appoints the company our agent for sales tax purposes. And as Rose indicated, the benefits being extended here are mortgage recording tax and sales tax. There are a couple of things I'd like to highlight to the board because this is unusual. We typically structure these transactions through the IDA, and we're structuring this transaction through the CRC because of the procedural legal issue that we had with the IDA process. So if you would go to PDF page 43. And what I want to do is review with you the findings with respect to this project. At the bottom of the page in section 3, there's a number of findings that start on the bottom of that page,
okay,
PDF page 43, and then continue on to the next page. The ones that I want to highlight are on the next page, PDF page 44, in subparagraph B. We talk about the mission statement of the CRC. If you read carefully the mission statement, you'll see that it focuses on the issuance of tax exempt bonds for not-for-profit corporations. that was the primary reason why we created the CRC. Because as you may recall, back in January of 2008, the ability of IDAs to do projects for not-for-profit corporations expired. However, our mission statement is broad, is very broad, and if you read, it says in the quoted language, to promote community and economic development in Ulster County in ways that complement the work of Ulster County. So this is consistent with our mission statement. It's also consistent with the certificate of incorporation, and that's sub C of the findings, which talk about undertaking projects and activities within the county for the purpose of relieving and reducing unemployment and bettering and maintaining job opportunities. The next finding that I want to highlight is in E. I'm highlighting the reason for the special meeting, and we touched on that a little bit under the seeker resolution. We're doing this to accommodate the construction schedule. As we all know, this project has been delayed for a number of months, and that's created some significant stress on the part of the project applicant. And we're holding this special meeting so that we can accommodate their undertaking and initiating the construction on the site of the project. The only other item that I want to highlight is that in J, that we've reviewed the public hearing report. We've talked about that, and we've also previously reviewed the public hearing report that was prepared in connection with the IDA public hearing. So we've actually held 2 public hearings with respect to this matter. The balance of the resolution authorizes the chairman and the other authorized officers to execute documents. If you go to PDF page 48, that's our exhibit A to the resolution, which highlights a number of the criteria that's satisfied with respect to the project. We talk about the 18 retained jobs, the 18 new jobs, the 40 full-time equivalent construction jobs. In row 4, you'll see that that number is consistent with the information that Rose reviewed in terms of project cost. And then in row 5, we talk about the value of the exemptions. And then the balance of the items are consistent with what we did and found when we considered this through the IDA. The only other thing I'll note, and Lucia can chime in if necessary. I mean, she has construction workers poised to start tomorrow. She's attempted to the best that she can.
Getting out in front a little bit, aren't you?
Well,
I'm being optimistic.
she's being optimistic, exactly. But she's followed our rules with respect to not initiating the project until we've approved the matter, even though there's obviously been some time schedule issues with respect to the matter. So with that, I'll pass it back to you, Chair. If you go to PDF page 40, and right there in the middle of the page is the all cap text of the title of the resolution.
A resolution authorizing execution of documents in connection with a lease/leaseback transaction for a project for Romeo Enterprises LLC, otherwise known as the company. So I need a motion to go to a roll call.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Rick. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, thank you, Dr. D. Proceed.
James Malcolm,
Yes.
Diane Einen,
Yes.
Faye Storms,
Yes.
Mike Ham,
Yes.
Orlando Reese, and Daniel Savona are both absent with notice, and Richard Jones.
Yes.
Resolutions adopted.
Okay.
Thank you all. Greatly appreciate it.
Thank you for bearing with us. I know it's been a difficult process, but
What's your ETA?
To complete
Yeah.
the project,
Mm.
we're hoping the end of next September.
Okay.
But I mean, at least that's what we're pushing the contractor for.
And when does your lease end?
I was able to get an extension until next January. After
good,
much
good.
negotiation back and forth, they graciously agreed to that. Thank goodness. So
That's good.
yeah, that was a big hurdle, but luckily.
Glad we could be of help, and, you know, a lot of other places around here would have just probably cashed you out, but you got a ton of good board members here that, they're always looking for a way to get there. And this is what happened here, maybe not to the degree we wanted, but that's why they make the windshield bigger than the rear view mirror, right? We're looking
Right.
forward.
Keep looking forward. I appreciate it. Each and every one of you. Thank you so much for all the work that you've done on this.
Good luck. Good
Thank
luck.
you.
And all the best with your project.
Yeah.
What's that?
All the best with your
Thank
project.
you. Appreciate it.
You'll sleep tonight.
Yeah. I got a couple phone calls to make first. So thank you all again.
All right.
All right.
Take care.
All right, so we're going to jump back, if you guys don't mind, and we'd like to go into executive session. For what, Rose?
Okay, so we need a motion to go into executive session for the purpose of the advice of counsel.
I'll make that motion. Do I
I'll
have a
second.
second? I have a second with Fay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you.